Greetings, my friends. Thank you for watching this video, and if you would be so kind, please subscribe if you like what you see. Help our channel to keep growing and keep fighting the war to save pop culture. Together, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy. Enjoy, and thanks. Star Wars is under attack, my friends. This time it's not Kathleen Kennedy, nor is it the Lucasfilm Story Group with horrible characters like a rock named Geode and a vessel named Vessel. No, this time Star Wars is being cancelled by woke wankers in the mainstream media. SJW crackpots who, sensing that their time draws near as more and more people see through their one-note anti-male, anti-Western civilization propaganda, and they seek to cling to relevance a little longer with outrageously stupid attacks on things the rest of us love. In this case, Star Wars. An article recently appeared on, of all things, a rag that used to be a prestigious journal, falsely named Scientific American, the single most ridiculous article I think I've ever read, an article titled, "Why the Term Jedi is Problematic for Describing Programs that Promote Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion."
Holy crap! If ever a title was coated in soy, it's that one. The word Jedi is problematic? Since when?
Since the so-called Scientific American decided to abandon writing about science and turn their rag over to an SJW opinion piece, Harvey. One of my sources called this article to my attention and indicated that this ludicrous propaganda hit piece is just the first step in an upcoming campaign to attack Star Wars as problematic. Looks like the idiotic madness of cancel culture has come for our galaxy far, far away at last. But before I get to what my source said about this coming campaign against Star Wars, you should first know what this sad, twisted little article actually says. Quote, "The acronym Jedi has become a popular term for branding academic committees and labeling STEM initiatives focused on social justice issues. Used in this context, Jedi stands for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. At first glance, Jedi may simply appear to be an elegant way to explicitly build justice into the more common formula of DEI, an abbreviation for diversity, equity, and inclusion, productively shifting our ethical focus in the process. Jedi has these important affordances, but also inherits another notable set of meanings. It shares a name with the superheroic protagonists of the science fiction Star Wars franchise, the Jedi. Within the narrative world of Star Wars, to be a member of the Jedi is seemingly to be a paragon of goodness, a principled guardian of order and protector of the innocent. Whether intentionally or not, the labels we choose for our justice-oriented initiatives open them up to a broader universe of associations. Whether intentionally or not, the labels we choose for our justice-oriented initiatives open them up to a broader universe of associations, branding them with meaning, and in the case of Jedi, binding them to consumer brands. Through its connections to Star Wars, the name Jedi can inadvertently associate our justice work with stories and stereotypes that are a galaxy far, far away from the values of justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Our justice-oriented projects should approach connections to the Jedi and Star Wars with great caution, and perhaps even avoid the acronym Jedi entirely. Below, we outline 5 reasons why.
Oh, God. I can't wait to hear this bullshit.
Turn off your bullshit detector if you have one at home, gang. At this level of bullshit, the siren going off from a bullshit meter spiking in the red may damage your hearing. Quote, "The Jedi are inappropriate mascots for social justice. Although they're ostensibly heroes within the Star Wars universe, the Jedi are inappropriate symbols for justice work. They are a religious order of intergalactic police monks prone to white saviorism and toxically masculine approaches to conflict resolution. Violent duels with phallic lightsabers, gaslighting by means of Jedi mind tricks, etc."
Whoa! The Jedi are prone to what? White saviorism? Toxically masculine approaches to conflict resolution? Phallic lightsabers? Is this a fucking joke?
It is a joke, Harvey. but not a hoax. No, this actually appeared on the Scientific American website, which begs the question, how the hell is this science? Used to be Scientific American published, scientific articles, not opinion pieces written by snowflakes and foot jammies sitting on their couches raging about social justice while sipping their fair trade tea, wearing a necklace made from recycled milk cartons that they bought at Lilith Fair. Yes, my friends, the Jedi are problematic because they are prone to white saviorism.
Right. Tell that to Mace Windu. Tell that to all the other non-white, non-human Jedi that are in the ranks. Have these clowns ever watched Star Wars?
I don't know, but it seems unlikely. After all, is Ahsoka toxically masculine? Is Princess Leia, who it turns out is also strong in the Force? Is Mara Jade, who turns out is a Force user too? And what is toxically masculine about blowing up the Death Star, about saving entire planets from destruction? Why is that toxic exactly? Because Force was involved? Well, sadly for all you little snowflakes out there, sometimes the world isn't a very nice place, and sometimes you actually have to use Force to resolve a situation, particularly a life and death situation. Look at how these creeps are trying to gaslight us, folks. It's astonishing how they're trying their best to erode our faith in a basic common sense understanding of life by attacking pillars of mythology, narrative, and philosophy. They use the term gaslighting by means of Jedi mind tricks. Right. And what is this nonsense of an article, if not gaslighting? They go on, quote, "The Jedi are also an exclusionary cult, membership to which is partly predicated on the possession of heightened psychic and physical abilities or Force sensitivity. Strikingly, Force-wielding talents are narratively explained in Star Wars not merely in spiritual terms, but also in ableist and eugenic ones. These supernatural powers are naturalized as biological hereditary attributes. So it is that Force potential is framed as a dynastic property of noble bloodlines, for example, the Skywalker dynasty, and Force disparities are rendered innate physical properties measurable via midichlorian counts, not unlike a Force genetics test, and augmentable via humanoid engineering. The heroic Jedi are thus emblems for a host of dangerously reactionary values and assumptions."
What the hell is this crap I'm hearing? An exclusionary cult?
Yes, Harvey. It's exclusionary because, you see, you have to have talent to be a Jedi. The Force must be with you. And if there's anything these gray, joyless SJW drones hate more than anything else, it's talented people. People who excel in one way or another, because excellence is considered racist in this new world order. Many of these woke wankers have no hope of achieving anything great in their lives because they were coddled into lives of mediocrity by years of participation trophies and being told they're wonderful just exactly as they are. So any system of meritocracy is inherently exclusionary because the untalented are excluded. But by that token, baseball is exclusionary because quadriplegics can't play. Physics is exclusionary because you have to be intelligent and somewhat good at math to practice it. And light is exclusionary because, well, is light fair to the blind? Is life? At some point, life itself will be branded exclusionary since only some people got ponies for Christmas.
These jackasses also try to smear the Jedi as being essentially aristocrats. Quote, "These supernatural powers are naturalized as biological hereditary attributes, so it is that Force potential is framed as a dynastic property of noble bloodlines. For example, the Skywalker dynasty?"
Right. Noble bloodlines. Like Anakin Skywalker. He was really sitting pretty on Tatooine before Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan showed up, wasn't he? He was practically little Lord Fauntleroy in his luxurious palace, right?
Well, he was a slave, actually. And that doesn't really play into their propaganda claiming the Jedi are dynastic and noble. Also, I know we don't consider the Disney sequel trilogy canon, but these woke wankers do. And they're ignoring the sequel trilogy just like we do, ignoring that Rey also came from nothing.
Yeah, it's funny, Harvey. Rey was the bestest ever Jedi. Anything boys could do, she could do better. Without any training, hell, she could fly the Falcon better than Han. She beat Kylo Ren repeatedly, and he was a trained Force user. So how does that play into their little toxic masculinity narrative? How can the bestest Jedi ever be problematic for these little snowflakes? Remember, they regard the Disney sequel trilogy as canon. I don't, but they do. So what? Rey wasn't bestest ever enough for them? What do they want Rey to do? Fart rainbows?
If Rey doesn't fart rainbows and Skittles like a unicorn, the patriarchy wins. You know that as well as I do, Doomcock.
This article just goes on and on and on, spewing nonsense that makes me believe they have no idea what they're talking about. Quote, Star Wars has a problematic cultural legacy. The space opera franchise has been critiqued for trafficking in injustices such as sexism, racism, and ableism. Think, for example, of the so-called Slave Leia costume, infamous for stripping down and chaining up the movie series' first leading woman as part of an Orientalist subplot. Star Wars arguably conflates alienness with non-whiteness, often seeming to rely on racist stereotypes when depicting non-human species. The series regularly defaults onto ableist tropes, memorably in its portrayal of Darth Vader, which links the villain's physical disability with mechanic inhumanity and moral deviance, presenting his technology-assisted breathing as a sinister auditory marker of danger and doom.
No, Vader wasn't evil because of his physical disability. He was physically disabled because Obi-Wan had to chop him up because he was evil. Guess these SJWs have no sense of cause and effect.
That's a good point. Causality is not their strong suit, Harvey. In their intellectually dishonest way, these woke wankers summarize points out of context, jettison any nuanced analysis of what they're spewing, and ignore the ample evidence available that refutes all of their points. It's sad, really, that Scientific American would publish such a sloppy piece of propagandistic woke nonsense on their website, but I guess that's the sorry state of science these days. I love how they try to dismiss the whole question of Rey being the bestest ever by stating, quote, What's more, the bodies and voices centered in Star Wars have, with few exceptions, historically been those of white men. And while recent films have increased gender and racial diversity, important questions remain regarding how meaningfully such changes represent a departure from the series' problematic past, unquote.
So Rey is the bestest ever, but not the bestest ever.
And that's why the patriarchy still rules and must be taken down, yada yada yada. This article goes on and on spewing this garbage. I suggest you check it out if you want to laugh. But sadly, this is serious business. According to one of my best sources, the SJWs are now turning their attention to Star Wars, and more articles like this are coming in the next few months. Here is what my source told me, quote, These SJW types have come to the realization that their time is coming to an end, so they are desperate to slow down the loss of their power. This particular article, Jedis Are Problematic, is their attempt to get Star Wars canceled. It's not a joke. They are dead serious. Fortunately, so far, it was met with laughter because of the way they went about it, taking a make-believe thing like a Jedi and acting like it's real. There is a reason they chose Disney and Star Wars. They were the first to step out of line and challenge them openly. Make no mistake, they will not stop. You will see this again, and hopefully no one will bend the knee. It will get worse. As bad as it is, everyone has to support non-woke stuff, even if it's bad. Don't misunderstand me. If you have issues with a particular movie or show, say so. But fans need to show up. These people have left us only one recourse, and that's vote with your wallet. Unquote.
Sound advice. It's a tricky line to walk, but we need to keep our standards high and call out bad entertainment. But we also need to support things that aren't woke these days. Hollywood is a nasty little dog, pooping on the carpet. It's time for us to train it.
So roll up your rhetorical newspapers, all ye geeks out there. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, keep your wallets closed to wokeness, Remember that without respect, we reject. And don't forget to stay angry. Ha 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 ha.